to a new episode of Tom's Geeky Garage. Today, we are going to continue on our Dark Ghostbuster path and move on to a new subject. Today, we're going to work on Muncher. Now, Muncher is a ghost from the Ghostbuster Afterlife movie, and recently we've seen him come out and some pictures of him pop up that kind of look a little goofy. He kind of looks a little goofy, let's just admit it. He's not that scary, he's just kind of a fat water bear of a ghost. So in this show, now that we're taking him to the dark universe, he's going to get a lot more scary, I'm sure. I want to thank everybody, too, who checked out the Dark Slimer episode and liked it. Those files are now available. If you go over to that show, you can check out the comments, and inside there's a link so you can download the STL files and make your own. But I'm not going to talk too much. Let's just go ahead and jump into the project. Alright, we're going to start here in Cinema 4D. The first thing I need to do is start with the base geometry. So here you can see me creating some points and some rough geometry of a chest and a head block. And these are just a rough piece of geometry that we're going to actually sculpt all the details into later. So it just needs to be in the ballpark of the final look that you're going for. Now we're going to skip on to more of the sculpting part here, and you can see I've already started sculpting details in the face, and I've already added the teeth. This part, I just kind of went with the flow on this. I kind of sculpted and didn't really have much of a plan. I just kind of let it come out as I worked through the sculpt, adding wrinkles and bumps and things. So it came out looking pretty good, I think. Here you can see me doing the arms. So when I do the arms, I do one set of arms and I copy and pasted them and then repose them in their actual final poses. And you can also see here too that the horns and the teeth and the fingernails are all the same geometry. I just copied and pasted this one tooth that I made, and that became the nails and the horns and the teeth. Little lazy modeling there, but yeah. But here's what it came out like. He looks really cool. Kind of give him this flying action pose, which works for me. So now let's get him over to our slicer and add supports, as you can see here. After that's done, we're going to take him over to the printer, which took about 5 hours to get done, but he came out looking pretty cool. Alright, so now we just need to remove those support structures and then we can paint. Alright, so now we're ready to start painting this guy. As you can see, I already have him base coated, and I base coated him with a baby blue. That will be our starting base, and then we're going to do like we did with the Slimer. We're going to add a wash, and then we'll start building up some colors to kind of bring out some of the bumps and lows and high areas and all that good stuff. Now, so I initially started to try to do this backwards, where I was going to try to do it starting with the dark base and build up, and then I changed my mind and kind of went back to the beginning and started over, because I think this way is going to work out better. So, to start out with, we got our paints. We got few different blues here. If you're following this and you're making your own of these later, you don't have to use these colors. Use whatever colors you like. These are just the ones that I picked. And brushes, we have the same detailed brushes that we had on the last episode. We'll get to these later. Not that important. So, right off the bat, we are going to start doing our wash. Now, I'm going to try something a little different this time. Instead of brushing the wash on with a brush, like I had done in the Slimer video, I'm actually going to try to airbrush a wash on. So what I've done is I've filled my airbrush with a really watered down kind of dark navy blue color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try just to airbrush that onto this guy real heavy. And that way I can kind of just knock it out really quick rather than slowly brushing it on everywhere. So I've never done it like this before. So this could be disastrous or really awesome. So let's just go ahead and start. So you can see I got a really dark blue. It's almost black. See if I'll spray a little bit right here so you can see it. Oops. It's pretty much just like black. So, but you know, let's give it a shot. See how it works. Now the goal here is to get it to go in all the little cracks. So we can just really hit this heavy. The reason I thought that airbrush would work better is because we can really just apply it really heavy and kind of evenly over the whole surface and let it run. Alright, so we just sprayed that really heavy over the whole thing, and it did just kind of come out black. My bad. Maybe it'll dry and not be so black. So we're gonna let this dry and take another look at it, and you can see it running down there, and it's okay if it runs. I have this paper towel on the stand, so one, I don't get paint on the stand, and two, it kind of absorbs some of this runoff. But you can kind of get the idea of what that's going to do. And it looks a little watered down and really black. I thought this would come out more blue. And in person, it is a little more blue, but on camera, it looks really black. So, anyhow, we're going to let this dry, and then we'll come back, and then we'll assess what we're dealing with, if we want to do another wash, or if we're going to start moving to the brush. But I think, just looking at it, I think we're going to end up doing another wash. I might actually dump this black wash out and make just a dark blue wash and see what happens if we hit it with a dark blue wash. And that's the fun part about doing this kind of paint, is there's really no right or wrong way to do it. You get to experiment and play, and the worst thing that could happen is you screw it up and then you have to reprint another model, which is okay. It's like, you know, costs probably like 30 cents to make a new one. Just, you know, most thing it costs is my time of waiting for the printer, but that's all good. If you're new and you're doing this kind of experimental painting, maybe it's just smart to just go ahead and just make two. A practice dummy and then the final one. But anyhow, let's let this dry and then we'll come back. Alright, so now I'm just taking those detail brushes and I went in and painted the eyes, and I'm going into the all the cracks and kind of defining all those cracks. Alright, you can see here that I have went in and started doing some of the detail work inside the mouth. Basically started with a lighter pink and kind of painted everything with a light pink, and then took some just red that was really watered down and just dripped some red in there. That way all the little crevices behind the teeth here, let's see, let me get this focus for you guys. You can see all the little crevices between the teeth are red because like the blood has kind of flowed in between everything. It's just to bring out a little bit more detail. It's not really meant to look like blood, just to look like kind of gums. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this detail brush here with some not pure white, it's kind of yellowy white. And what we're going to do is kind of go in here and start bringing out some of the teeth. So it's just about one tooth at a time. Let me get a little more water. You don't want your paint really thick, because you want it to be able to go on in kind of one swoop. We don't want it to. It's about like just painting one tooth at a time.
So I'm going to go ahead and just finish this out. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to come back with the nails and all the fingers, and we're actually going to hit all the little fingernails too. And then I'm going to add a little bit of gloss to the inside of the mouth and to the eyes and stuff. And then this guy's going to be pretty much finished. So let's just go ahead and cut to see what the final toy looks like.
Guy came out looking really cool. He kind of fits in the whole Dark universe. He's definitely got the teeth. The teeth are a big staple of, the Slimer and the Muncher. You gotta have teeth. And since he is Muncher and he munches on anything, I thought he had to have 3 rows of teeth. So he ended up with 3 rows of teeth. Next up on the next series for the Dark Ghostbusters, we're going to move on to the Ghostbusters themselves. We're going to do Egon. Egon is going to be designed to fit this creepy world, but he's also going to have he's going to be more of like a play set, because he's going to have a set piece that goes with him. So it's not just a figure, but a set piece. So that would be really cool. If you like these kind of videos, seeing custom toys and all that stuff, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also go over to Facebook, like us on Facebook. There you can see a lot of behind the scenes and get like updates on upcoming shows and things like that. So if you haven't, go over there and like us on that. So thank you for watching, and have a good one. Yeah.